Hello, my little fuzzy bat butts. Today for my video, I am going to talk to you guys about hand fasting, what a hand fasting is, and a little bit about my hand fasting that I had with my husband, Brady. A hand fasting is a traditional, very traditional, that our ancestors did a long time ago, or my ancestors did at least a long time ago, wedding. And while it is a wedding ritual, it's not the typical wedding ritual that you are used to. So I'm going to directly read from Wikipedia what hand fasting is, so maybe I can clear up any questions, and yeah, you guys can learn a little bit about hand fasting. These are not my own words, these are the words of Wikipedia. If you are interested in learning more, please feel free to Google search. Google is a wonderful, powerful source of knowledge. So here we go. Hand fasting is a historical term for betrothal or wedding. The term could also refer to a temporary marriage. The term has come to be used as a replacement for marriage in the vocabulary of neo-paganism, especially in Wicca. The verb to handfast in the sense of to formally promise to make a contract is recorded for late Old English, especially in the context of a contract of marriage. The marriage vows taken may be for a year and a day, a lifetime, for all of eternity, or for as long as love shall last. As with many neo-pagan rituals, some groups may use historically attested forms of the ceremony, striving to be as traditional as possible, while others may use only the basic idea of hand fasting and largely create a new ceremony. The way we went about having our hand fasting is that I hopped on the internet and I started doing lots of research on local priests and priestesses that could perform a hand fasting for Brady and I. The hand fasting basically is two people who are very individual coming together and saying that they will work together as a team and that they will tackle things as a team and as individual people. And it basically says that we aren't the same person, we don't have the same brain, but we will work together, we will compromise if we need to, and we will be the best team that we can be. So my hand fasting that I did, I tried to incorporate lots of Norse beliefs and Celtic beliefs together. So it is quite a mix match of traditional beliefs. Anyways, the priest and priestess I ended up picking are actually I'm really close to now, so I'm really happy that I got to meet them. We went to their metaphysical store, which is pretty local in our town. We had a sit-down meeting with the priest and priestess, and we talked to them about what kind of ceremony we would like to have, how we'd like the ceremony to be performed, and how to go about having the ceremony, considering that we have lots of relatives who are very Christian and are very religious in general. We just didn't want to scare our relatives or freak them out too much because we knew we were already going to be pushing the boundaries quite a bit for them. So the priest and priestess listened to what we had to say and they agreed to do a ritual that was very subtle. They actually drew the circle and did most of the ritual before the people had even walked in for the ceremony. I had the hand fasting at a German venue, which I was very excited about because I connect very much with Germany and my family line, a lot of them descend from Germany. Recently I found out that a lot also are from Scandinavia. It's an ongoing learning process, but that's beside the point. So I chose to have it in a German venue in the back part of the venue, and it was in the beer garden of sorts. So my wedding was had in a beer garden and it was a hand fasting and it was to be joyous. The pre-hand fasting things that we did was Brady and I both went to a local craft store and we picked out ribbons that were in colors that best represented each of us. The colors represent different attributes that we bring into the marriage and different attributes that we can intertwine with each other. We sat at home and we braided all of our ribbons together. I believe we had 6 ribbons that we braided together. We both sat down on one end and braided our side into... First we braided our own 3 ribbons together, and then we sat down together and as a team we braided both of our cords together, and that was what our hand fasting actual cord was our teamwork of making these things that represent us woven together. We also had purchased some charms that represented things that we would like to to happen within our marriage and things that we would like to happen within our lifetime that we would share together, and we sewed those charms into the hand fasting cord. For my offering, I actually baked muffins, and with the muffins I chose to use spices that I thought would help us within our marriage. I used cloves, cinnamon, nutmeg, and lots of very October, autumn spices, but they also have meanings within themselves that will help our marriage. So after I baked the cupcakes, or muffins rather, I had one for Brady and one for me, and I tied individual ribbons that represented both of us on those cupcakes. I believe Brady's was a blue ribbon and mine was a green ribbon, which is Brady is a water sign and I'm an earth sign. He's a Cancer and I'm a Virgo. So anyways, day of the ritual, the priest and priestess went to our spot of marriage and they started the opening of the ceremony and opened the circle before our guests arrived, so our guests wouldn't be frightened by the whole process. So our priest goes through all of the pre-written ritual script, and I believe the first thing we did was we walked in a circle, not together, like we walked in a circle this way and we went around each other without touching and walked back to the altar. So what we did is we walked in a circle. This is me, this is Brady, and we were standing at the front altar and we walked around in a circle away from the altar, and whenever we crossed path, we had to cross path exactly in the center of the circle without touching each other, and then we walked back around to the front of the altar. This basically just represents that we are two separate people, two life paths, and two individual minds. The ceremony continues, and Brady and I light candles and do some things at the altar. We were saged, and just basically some things that happened during the hand fasting. My memory is kind of fuzzy because this was September the 6th last year, so it's coming up on our 1-year anniversary very soon, and my mind is fuzzy on the exact things that happened in the ceremony. But once we finally reached the point of having our hand fasting knot tied around our wrists, the priest did so, and then we walked together around the circle, stopping at each 5 corners, and this represented that now we are still individual people, but we are going to work together as a team to conquer life and all of life's tasks. Normally, we also had a sword involved in our ritual, and the sword was a dull sword. Normally, the sword would be sharp if we were talking about the old time, and Brady and I, while we were in our hand fasting knots, held onto the sword as he pulled the sword through our hands being held, and what that would have done is that would have cut open our hands and it would have mixed our blood together, which basically bound us by blood. But since this is modern times and that probably would really freak out our guests, we used a dull sword and it was more symbolic than anything else. After the whole ceremony was finished, it was time for normal cutting of the cake type things. So Brady and I went to our cupcake stand. I didn't want to have a wedding cake. We did cupcakes instead, and they were delicious. And so we go to our cupcake stand and we had to feed each other the cupcake with our hands still tied together in the hand fasting cord to show our first moment of teamwork. So basically that is the overview of a hand fasting. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please down below feel free to share links to maybe your hand fasting ceremony that you had, or share your opinions on hand fasting, or how you even went about your hand fasting at your own wedding, or what you think of hand fastings. I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching my video, and I will talk to you all again very, very soon. Bye!